Welcome to Kaplan.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on?
What?
All right, you go in, Tony.
Good. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Dude, we are so freaking proud of you. It's never too late to go back to college, turn your life around. It's been a rough few years. We know this is going to be the move that you need to change your life.
Yeah, Mikey, I'm really excited for you, pal. This is good. New beginnings, baby.
Don't fuck it
Thank you
up.
very much. All right. Here it is. Email just came in.
Let's see. Let's go.
I did not get in.
You didn't get in. It's fucking Nassau Community College. What the hell's your goddamn problem?
Holy shit, are you fucking stupid
What a
or what?
stupid bum. You're going to
Oh
be in your
my
mother's
God.
basement for the rest of your life. What a fucking loser.
Fucking idiot.
Piece of shit.
Stupid as you look.
Dude, we are so freaking proud of you. It's never too late to go back to college, turn your life around. It's been a rough few years. We know this is going to be the move that you...
All right, thank you so much. Tony Walker in the house.
Yeah, he's the only one screaming, but I like him. He's good.
Yes. Tony Walker.
I like Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's really good.
Tony Walker's all right, too.
All right, thank you so much. Tony Walker in the house.
Yeah, he's the only one screaming, but I like him. He's good.
You know, probably big heavyset guy. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Hi, everybody. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the Knockem Day Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, YouTube and Facebook. Wherever you're watching, we ask that you share the link on all your socials. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We are coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club, baby. Hey, what's happening here? You guys can see us, right? Okay. That's weird. Oh, there it is. Wow, that was weird. My phone couldn't find the show at first. All right.
I'm on.
Yeah, I'm on. And you're on. And you guys are on. Thanks for joining us. Michael is here.
How are you?
Why did the electric car feel discriminated against?
He wasn't charged up.
Because the rules weren't current.
It's not bad.
I'm such a good navigator. How good are you? Thanks, Mike.
Oh.
A self-driving car once asked me for directions. Okay. You had a story. Go ahead.
Well, can I tell my joke first? And then
Yeah,
tell the
sure.
story?
Yeah.
Oh. So I was doing some cleaning the other day, and you know that beautiful Dalmatian I have?
I do.
Well, I accidentally... Why are you smiling at me? I accidentally...
Yes.
Spilled spot remover on him.
Oh, boy.
Her. Sorry.
Her.
I can't find the dog. I don't... Get it? Spot remover?
Yeah.
Dalmatians have spots. Gone.
Ooh, this is a funny joke. Ann says, "Good morning, Tony and my Magic Mike."
Oh, good morning.
Ooh.
And from the left coast.
Wow.
Oh, then Romeo, sweet. Good morning. Ooh. Good morning, my sweets.
Yeah. Well, that's to John. Right? Yeah, because John says, "Hi, sweetie, good morning." And she went, "Good morning, my sweet."
I know. You know, it's so sweet, my cavities hurt. You ever hear that one?
No, I never heard that.
No.
What was the one from The Sopranos? The FBI is so far up my ass I can taste Bill cream or some shit like that. All right, I got some complaining to do.
You do?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
My first complaint.
Get it off your chest, buddy.
I have actually two complaints about myself.
You know, that's the best. You know, that's the first part of being self-aware. You can complain about yourself.
All right. Well,
very healthy.
Then I'm very self-aware today. So yesterday, I promote all the shows that are on. All right. So today's Wednesday. So when the shows, whatever shows are on Wednesday, Tuesday night, as you know, I get a picture and I promote each show.
Yeah.
And I tag the shows and watch Wednesday at 11, Mike will be here, that type of shit. So Monday night, I did it for all the shows for Tuesday, including Sports Bash, which wasn't coming on at 1, was coming on at a special time, 4 o'clock. So I planned my whole day around it because I did the show here with Diane yesterday. I hightail it out of here, go home, have some lunch, take care of a few things because I knew I had to leave home at 3 to get back here to prepare for Peter's show at 4. and then I had to be somewhere. So if his show starts at 4, that means I'm getting out of here around 5:30.
Right.
I had to be somewhere for PAL event at 6:30. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm leaving straight from here. So what I did, I went home, and again, I had a big lunch because I figured, all right, I'm not going to have time for dinner.
Right.
So I had a big lunch, and I brought a peanut butter sandwich with me. So I figured on my way to the PAL thing, I'll just have a quick sandwich. So, like I said, I planned my whole day around this. Was home for 2 hours, took care of some stuff, came back. So I left the house at 3. I come back, I'm setting up, I'm all good to go. It's now 3:45, and Peter's not here. And I just had a feeling, like, I think I screwed up. I look at my phone, where we're, messages between me and Peter. I had it in my head the whole time that it was Tuesday at 4, and I promoted it, Tuesday at 4. I look at the messages, it's today at 4. I'm like, you stupid son of a bitch. And why... He was saying, like his texts say Wednesday, but it registered as Tuesday the whole time because Wednesdays at 4 are normally bad for me. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So now I have to rearrange some stuff. I'll get out of here around 5:30. I have rehearsal for the Murder Mysteries at 7. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, son of a bitch. So I have an appointment today, a prosthetist appointment. So I have to, at 1 o'clock, I have to be in Williston Park, which is at least 20 minutes from here, maybe a little more. So I have to hightail it out of here at 12:30, get to the appointment, hope to get out of there by 3 the latest. Actually, hopefully maybe even 2:30, so I can get back here by 3:15 and start setting up for Peter's show. So I'm like, and then I get out of here at 5:30 and I have Murder Mystery rehearsal. So I totally screwed myself. So I am so mad. I am so mad at myself. Now, the other thing I'm mad at myself about, as usual, which seems to be a regular thing now, I forget the fire hydrant. Yeah. It's pretty much, I couldn't tell you the last time I brought it in.
I know, I kind of miss it. It's what, yeah.
So,
I know, and I
yours
got this one to...
It's like a mini fire hydrant.
Yeah. Well, it's called a Stanley.
Stanley steamer?
Because it says Stanley right there.
Oh.
Stanley.
And it makes a sound effect.
Yeah, it whistles.
So I stopped at 7-Eleven this morning. I'm on my way here. I'm like, oh, forgot the water again. Stop at 7-Eleven, get some water. I go back to my car just as another car pulls up to the spot next to me on my passenger side. So I start my car up, and I'm just looking to make sure there's nobody around. And I look to my right, nobody there. But then I just happen to look over at the guy in the car who just pulled up. And he's got, you bring it sometimes. He's got that circular thing of mints.
Oh, yeah.
Just, little canister of,
Yeah, you pop it open. It has two sides. You could take right.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly what he had, and he's holding it like this, and he's licking the mints out of the thing. And I'm just he has no clue I'm looking at him, so I'm like, and there he is. And that's I'm like in my head I'm laughing to myself. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah. Why can't he just pour one out and put it in his mouth?
Well, let me explain that to you. He then gets out of his car to go into 7-Eleven. He only has one arm. So immediately I'm like, I'm a prick. I am a prick. That's how, did I ever tell you the story about the Paul McCartney concert?
No, but that's hysterical.
In April of April? It was early 2002. Paul McCartney plays Nassau Coliseum. At the time, he was married to that hot blonde with the one leg. You remember?
Yeah.
Heather something was her name. So I'm watching the concert. It had decent seats towards the back. Actually, I think it was the first row, not on the floor, the first row when the seats start to rise. So I'm just above everybody's head. We were kind of dead center, so they were nice seats. And on the floor there, around the whole floor, it's open, so you can walk. So we have the first row of the rising seats. And sure enough, Paul McCartney's wife at the time, Heather, she walks by. So I said to my buddy, oh, look, that's Heather. So, again, very good-looking woman. So I'm watching her as she's walking away.
Right.
She gets maybe 30 feet, and she falls. And now me, in all fairness, when I see something like that, I laugh. I do make
It's
sure
al-
they're okay first. If
it's
they're
almost
okay,
human nature. Yes.
right? But I'm that guy that will laugh first and laugh
Yeah.
loudly
Yeah.
in awkward moments. So
I know. You
yeah.
do.
So she fell. She got right back up. So as soon as I saw she got up
By herself?
yes.
I'm
I mean,
surprised you didn't have people.
Well,
around.
yeah, some people
Yeah.
did come running, but it was that quick. And it was that much of a nothing for her. She was, I watched her. She lapped around the whole floor of the Coliseum. I don't know why, but that's what she was doing. She didn't come back around a second time, but she came she walked. She did a full lap around the floor of the Coliseum. But she got up so quickly and kept on going, so she was fine. But then once I saw she was fine, I was laughing loudly. 6 months later, I get cancer in the leg and I lose a leg. I'm telling you, that was total God being like, okay, well, you think that's funny, asshole? Bam. Boom, he shot cancer at me. So now there I am laughing at the one-armed man. But I didn't know he was one-armed at the time.
You didn't. Well, wait a minute. At that time, did you know Heather had one leg?
Yes.
See, so it was. That's right. It was very, very well known.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think she lost it in a motorcycle crash or something.
Yeah.
But for some reason, she got into landmines. That was her big cause. Because apparently, you probably know, after war, apparently in some places they just leave them, and then people are walking and
Oh, yeah.
they go off. Yeah, I don't think that's the case here, but probably the Middle East or something.
In the Middle East,
Yeah, where there's wars every day.
That's the biggest thing is landmines, IEDs. Yes.
Right. So that's her big
and
cause.
There's actually thousands of soldiers who have lost limbs. Yes.
Well, yeah, which works out for me because I think the Gulf War of the early '90s, but then the second one is that Desert Storm.
It's funny because people ask me, you were wait a minute, you were 18 years apart. So I have to explain. I was in Desert Storm, and then I was in Iraq in 2010. So it was actually two separate wars.
Right, but what are they called? One was the Gulf War, one's Desert Storm.
Some people say, oh, well, the first Gulf War, but it's actually
hang on.
It's not the first Gulf War. It's Desert Storm was 91.
Okay.
And then the Iraq War started in 2002, 2003.
Right.
Which I was a part of. So it's actually two separate conflicts.
But is that what it's called? Like it's called the Gulf War. This is called the Iraq War?
It was Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You talk about that bullshit war, that 18-hour war
He's
that
such a
Kaplan was in?
He's such a dick.
That's not a war. That was a bullshit war.
Hey, John, do you mind me telling Tony that story real quick?
Absolutely. And then I have a joke. I'm going to dedicate it for you. But go right ahead. Tell the story
speaking
about
about
your bullshit war, and tell him what I said after. Go ahead. Tell him the story.
So John and I became very close friends. He became my neighbor.
Right.
So almost on a nightly basis, I would hang out in his garage and we would just shoot the shit. It was great, right? Yeah. So, but we had a common friend neighbor. His name was Pete, who was a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
So the three of us were in the garage one night, and he was getting on me about that Desert Storm that was only a 96-hour war. It was a bullshit war. He was really getting on my case about it, like it was nothing, right? And I'm like, you don't understand. I was there 10 months. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, where does he get 96 hours from?
Because the actual ground war only lasted like 3 or 4 days.
Oh.
The ground war. But the air war, the air bombings went on for weeks, a couple months. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm taking it because he's a Vietnam veteran. I'm showing him respect. This guy, my friend, goes off on this guy. Tells him, get the fuck out of my garage.
Yeah, I do
You
recall
remember that story?
hearing that he has thrown Pete out of the garage. Yes, that part I remember.
And that was one instance that he was like right in my face. You know, that was only a 96-hour war. What was so bad about that?
In your face?
He was like this close. You know, he was sitting in a chair and he's like, it was a bullshit war. Bullshit war. What war is bullshit? So I was getting angry, but out of respect, because he was a Vietnam vet, I wasn't saying anything. But my friend here, he got all over him.
And did he come back like the next day and like you guys hung out like nothing was wrong, or?
He never gave an apology because I don't think he's an apologist. Yeah.
Wow.
You remember that, John? Am I saying that properly?
Yeah. Listen, the guy was a piece of shit. But
Yeah, he was not a nice guy.
You know, he didn't really. Most Vietnam because
John, we lost you. We lost you, John.
I'm here. Do you hear me?
We got you back, but we pretty much didn't get anything of that story. You confirmed that Mike's story was accurate, and that was pretty much when we lost you.
You know, most Vietnam vets are upset because it's the only war that they didn't have a parade for and stuff like that, which was, understandably so with them. But for a war veteran to say something about that, how it was childish, it was immature. Number one, it showed his ignorance. Listen, I work with guys that was in Desert Storm and the Middle East conflict. They came back. It's terrible. But anyway, that's another story for a different day. So, Mr. Kaplan, I am going to tell a joke, and I'm dedicating this joke to you.
Oh, I love it.
Because it's about it's a Jewish joke.
Oh, I love it.
All right, are you ready?
I'm sitting down, sir.
Okay. So this notorious bank robber goes into a bank, and he has a 45 in each hand. And he starts shooting up the bank, and he tells all the patrons of the bank and all the workers, get on the floor, don't look at me, get on the floor, and don't look at me. So he robs the bank. As he's walking out, he notices on the corner of his eye, 3 or 4 people are looking at him. So he stops, and he calls out to people, and he puts them against the wall, and he says to one guy, did you look at my face? The guy looks at him in terror. He doesn't know what to say. Bang, the bank robber shoots him in the head. Goes to the next guy. He goes, did you look at my face? I saw you looking at my face. Guy doesn't know what to say. He's in terror. Bang, the guy shoots him in the head. He goes to the old Jewish guy. He goes, did you look at my face? And the Jewish guy goes, wait a minute. What are you talking? I'm an old man. I can't see. But my wife did.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
I like your Jewish man voice, by the way.
He does a great
Thank you very much. You're such a nice man. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He does great Irish accents.
I've heard that. I've heard it.
Great Jewish accents. Have you ever heard him do the Jackie Mason impersonation?
I may have.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
You'd be on the floor.
Yeah, huh?
That Fremder joke was pretty good.
Which one? I used to date a hot Middle Eastern chick with big tits. I think she was from Iraq. Oh, my goodness.
That's my kind of joke.
Let's see. I think I've heard this before. It's so bad. Why do melons have weddings?
Why do melons have weddings, Tony?
They cantaloupe.
Oh, that's like knock knock.
Who's there?
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe who?
Cantaloupe without a girl. Or boy, or if you're, whatever. Man, woman, beast.
What's the best way to save your dad jokes?
What?
Put it in a database.
God. That might be one of the worst. And I love dad jokes. Wow.
Oh, all right. I think this one's your speed. I got a new pen that can write underwater.
I've heard this, but go ahead.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, it's funny.
It can write other words, too.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
I think that's actually very funny.
That is funny.
That's
yeah.
funny.
What? All right. My boss said, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. So I went in as Batman. What?
What?
I don't get that at all.
Can you repeat that one more time, counselor?
My boss said, dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. So I went in as Batman.
I am Batman.
So this guy wants to be Batman? Fremder must have wrote that joke. Fremder's a big Batman fan. Oh, my goodness. What do you call a sheep that can sing and dance?
A sheep?
A sheep. What do you call a sheep who can sing and dance?
Something about something.
Lady Baba.
God.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's terrible.
Funny
though.
Oh my goodness! I gave my handyman a to-do list, but he only did the job. He only did jobs numbered 1, 3, and 5. Turns out he only does odd jobs.
Yes.
Oh goodness!
I love that joke.
Do you?
Oh, I love that.
I may
joke.
have to punch you in the face then. All right, we'll do jokes sporadically throughout. Oh, I have another story for you. So, I think it was Saturday. Doesn't matter, whatever day it was over the weekend. Lisa and I sat down to watch a movie. It's called Enough Said with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Are you familiar with this movie?
Who else is in it besides her?
Catherine Keener. It's a great cast.
Oh, they're both good actresses.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like something even more so if it's a great cast.
Me too, yes.
And then round this one off, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Catherine Keener, and James Gandolfini.
Oh, I've seen it. There's a love interest between.
That's the one.
That's an older movie.
Well,
not older.
It was
10 years.
2013. So that's when he
12
died.
years.
I think he only made one movie after that, and then he was gone. I like this movie. I like it a lot.
I liked it too.
Yeah, I had seen it before. Lisa never saw it, so
they had good chemistry, and
yes,
I mean you wouldn't think it because she's a tiny petite woman and he was a big man.
But she's an absolute treasure, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah,
in my book, she's right up there with Lucille Ball, right up there
as comedic actresses, because that was a serious role.
Yeah, but there's some comedy in it.
There is some comedy. Yeah.
No, I'll just say all in all, because Lucille Ball did some drama. Julia Louis-Dreyfus has done both.
Yeah.
No, I think she's right up there with her.
Wow, that's some high praise. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think she's that good.
Yeah.
And I think I think she's gorgeous too. I do.
She's a very pretty woman. Yes.
So good movie. Lisa really enjoyed it. She was like, good pick. But so we got it on Amazon, right? And we have a membership on Amazon, so we didn't have to pay extra. But even though you're not paying extra, you do have to sit through, I think it's once or twice they run commercials.
Oh, okay. Like they call them add-ons or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. And at one point, they'll even tell you, this is the last round of commercials. Your movie will be uninterrupted after this.
Yeah.
So it was right at the halfway mark. Whatever amount of time this movie is, this was like right in the smack middle. All of a sudden it stopped and commercials came out. So commercials end. The movie starts up again. All of a sudden it stops. And all of a sudden, there was like soft porn playing. So Lisa and I looked at each other like, what the
what?
What happened here? So I grabbed the remote. I'm trying to like go back, and of course I'm getting all, messed up. I finally figured out, okay, get the movie back on. We have no idea what in the world that was. Movie plays for maybe a minute. I don't even think it was that long. Goes back to the soft porn again. What the? So again, I'm messing with it. I'm like, what is going on here? Happens a third time. So now both of us like, motherfucker, bring the fucking foul, foul. Then the fourth time it happened, it wasn't showing the soft porn anymore. It was now just a picture of dog shit. So we're like,
it got hacked. Who knows?
Okay. There's an ending to the story. I'm just giving you all the details. So I get out of the piece of shit. Sure enough, the piece of shit comes back. So now we're up to 5 times. But now the sixth time that this happened, and now at this point, six times, we're ready to shut the TV off.
Oh, yeah.
But the sixth time it happened, it wasn't a dog shit anymore. It was my face. It was a picture of me. So now I'm like, all right, what the fuck? So I grabbed my phone because I know, like, some phones, like, you can use that as a remote.
Oh, yeah.
And I have it hooked up to the TV. So I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, did I accidentally hit something? And I'm like, so I'm trying to, it eventually goes off. We get the movie back. But as the movie starts playing again, I'm looking at my phone. Like, I don't think I did anything. But now this time, finally, after I think it was 7 times total, the movie is now playing. So like, okay, thank God. And we're, so probably another 30 minutes go by. And I've pretty much, it's not out of my head, but, I've kind of moved on. And I'm just, and Zach comes down. He was up in his room. He comes down. He grabs some food, and Lisa says, it's like, "Oh, what'd you get? Or what are you eating?" Something like that. He's like, he tells her whatever he's eating. He goes up the stairs. As he gets toward, he's getting towards the top. He's just out of our sight, and he goes, "Hope you don't have any more interruptions." I was like, "Oh, you little bastard!"
I knew it. I had a feeling.
Yep.
Because he's so technologically savvy, he knows how to.
He must have hooked up his phone as well, and then just started messing with it. I was like, "You." I started laughing my balls off.
It's hysterical.
Oh, it was a good one.
I didn't know he was a prankster.
Sometimes. It's not often, but sometimes. Actually, Sammy got him really good once. And she didn't tell anybody. To this day, I don't even know where she got the idea from. Zach loves Oreos. Actually,
Right.
They both do. And he grabbed some Oreos one day. It was already open. They had used it already, but there was still some in there. He grabs one, and he starts telling us. I think he had eaten a few, but now he's eating this one, and he's complaining that it tastes funny. So he just keeps telling me, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. And I tried one, it tasted fine. All the rest of them were fine. It was just this one in particular. I think it was the next day. Sammy asked him, "Did you have Oreos yesterday?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she said, "Did one of them taste funny?" And now, me too. I'm like, "How do you know about this?"
Yeah.
She took an Oreo out of the container, out of the bag, whatever you call it. She took the cookie part off, got rid of the
cream
in the middle, and filled it with toothpaste.
Oh my God!
And I mean, for those, I don't have to remind you guys. My daughter is on the autistic spectrum.
I don't think she is.
Yeah. Well, and this is at least 5 years ago. It might be even more than that at this point. But yeah, she must have seen this somewhere, like on a show or a commercial somewhere.
Yeah.
And then she took it upon herself to do it.
Wow.
But
she didn't know who was going to eat it.
She figured it would be Zach because I'm not a big Oreo. I mean, I'll eat one, but I'm not big.
And Lisa's not.
Not really. No.
Not really.
No.
So she knew it was going to be Zach.
It was like 98% certainty that it would be Zach.
Wow. That's a great
she got him
prank.
Good. Oh yeah, she got him.
Oh
good.
yeah.
And I was laughing, but at the same time, I was like so proud.
Yeah.
Like she thought to do that. But yeah, so he got us good the other day with watching this movie. Couldn't believe it. Well, and it freaked me out. I was like, where did my face? And I swear to you, because my couch is against the window, facing the front yard. So when I saw my own face, I turned around. I'm like, is somebody outside?
Right. Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
showed up unexpectedly. Now they're messing with me. I'm
yeah.
like, I swear, I actually did. I'm looking around like, who is doing this to me? Never, yeah. Didn't even think, oh, Zach's upstairs.
How was Lisa's reaction when she found that?
Lisa gets freaked out worse than I do, and she perseverates on stuff like that. Like she can't get it out of her head.
Yeah.
If something is going on and it's not taken care of, like she won't sleep, and she will perseverate. Like we did our taxes the other day. We always do them late in the tax season, but we did them the other day. But there was something that the accountant needed, and so we're like, all right, well, we'll get it to you tomorrow. It didn't affect our taxes. It had something to do. It was something else. He's like, yeah, get it to me when you can. But she just, and I wasn't sure where this piece of paper was. So yeah, that was, I'm not going to be able to sleep because we need to find that thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I know where it is. Relax. It had something to do with Sammy works once a week.
Yeah.
With the Nassau County at a Nassau County PAL facility. And and then, of course, I couldn't find this thing. So, I mean, it was like she couldn't relax. Like she goes, it actually worked out. So, yeah, where I'm like, all right, I'll figure it out. I'll keep looking. Don't worry, I'll do this later. Where she's like, no, we got to, and she just can't move on.
Gotcha.
Thankfully, it worked out because then the more I looked, I couldn't find this damn thing. But thankfully, my mother and where she works, my mother works in an accounting firm. Coincidentally, one of their clients is the Nassau County PAL. I'm like, oh. So I just called my mother. I go, Can you find this thing for Sammy from 2023? And she
Yeah.
found it within minutes. I was like,
Wow.
oh, thank goodness. And that's the first thought. I was like, oh, now I can tell Lisa that it's done.
It's done.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a long answer to your question. Sorry
It
about
kind of was, but
Yeah.
it's all right.
We still have an hour to go, so yeah.
What are you trying to say? Our show.
I'm trying to fill
Our
time.
programs.
Did you, I forget why you asked me that? Oh, you asked me what Lisa's reaction was. Yeah. So her reaction was I think she was a little more. It took her a minute to laugh, where I laughed immediately once we realized it was Zach. Where she needed a minute before
That's
she could start
hysterical.
laughing. I thought it was great. I really thought it was great.
Oh, can I add something?
Of course you can.
Oh, if you don't mind, I'm going to throw a little curveball at you.
Yes.
So I heard from a very close friend, a common friend you and I have, that Tuesday is not going to be the Tony and Diane show any longer.
Apparently, it's now the John Rusiello show on Tuesdays. Yeah. I'll have to make some changes and set some things up. But the John Rusiello show.
The Romeo Rusiello show.
The Romeo Rusiello show.
Actually, it's the Romeo Diane show.
True. Roaming with Romeo.
Roaming with...
Running. Running with Romeo? Romeo...
Ranking on Romeo.
Ranking on Romeo.
Well, Romeo ranking on everybody, unless your name is Anne or Diane.
Dying for Diane. Die. Princess Di and Romeo. Romeo and Princess Di.
You know, Tony.
Yes, I do. That's
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
If at first you don't succeed, then you should never go skydiving. What's going on out there?
I don't know
It
what's
sounds like IEDs. I feel like I'm back in Iraq.
Where do rainbows go when they've been bad?
Oh, they go to prism.
So they can have time to reflect on what they've done.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Look at this one. Dogs can't operate MRI machines.
Oh, but cats can.
Oh, my goodness.
I chuckled when the first time I read that.
What do mermaids use to wash their fins?
Oh, wait a minute. I heard oh, crap. I know this one. Well, how do mermaids wash their fins? I forgot.
Tide. All right, here's one I don't get. Why couldn't the produce manager make it to work?
I don't know.
He could drive, but he couldn't avocado. What? He could drive, but he couldn't avocado.
He couldn't
Like have a car though? Have a car though? He could drive, but he didn't have a car though. I don't know.
He didn't have a car though.
Right. So he didn't have a car though.
Wow, that's a
stretch.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Oh, here's a good one. I went to a silent auction. I won a dog whistle and 2 mimes. That's pretty good.
I heard one last night. I hope I don't mess this up. Did you hear that a very popular local auctioneer died the other day?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You know how old he was?
No.
He was 60. No, 70. He's 75. 80. 85. 90. Do I have 95? I have 100.
What do you call a dog who meditates? A werewolf.
God, Tony.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I busted a mirror and got 7 years bad luck, but my lawyer thinks he can get me 5.
That's pretty good.
You know, this is one to ponder.
Yeah.
If you are in a spaceship that is traveling at the speed of light and you turn on the headlights, does anything happen?
Ah, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
That's almost more like a riddle. I once submitted 10 puns to a joke competition. I really thought with that many, one was sure to be a winner. Sadly, no pun intended. That's so stupid. Why am I laughing?
I don't know.
That's a Fremder joke right there.
That is.
That's a Fremder joke.
Last night I stayed up late playing poker with tarot cards. I got a full house and 4 people died. That's actually pretty good.
Why did the old man fall down the well?
You wanted a drink of water?
He couldn't see that well.
See that well. See, that's the great thing about that. I think dad jokes are brilliant because they're really a play on words, the majority of them.
Yeah. Oh, I tried to make up a joke about a ghost, but I couldn't. It had plenty of spirit, but no body.
A lot of people are afraid of heights. Not me. I'm afraid of widths. I don't get that one.
What's the difference between a piano, a tuna, and a pot of glue?
Wait, say that one more time, please.
What is the difference between a piano, a tuna, and a pot of glue?
Oh, you could tune a piano, but you can't tune glue.
Oh. You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna.
I was kind of close. Not really.
You don't have any questions there?
What questions?
What's the difference between a piano, a tuna, and a pot of glue? You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna.
Well, what's with the glue?
I knew you'd get stuck on that.
Oh, God.
All right. Before
So, I got bored once, so I started writing a book about glue.
Yeah.
But I got stuck on the first page.
I let you finish it, yeah.
Oh, you knew that one.
Well, I didn't, but based on that, I knew where you were going.
All right, you don't have to yell at me.
Let me read some comments, and then I got something I'd like to talk about quickly. Whoa. Hey, now.
Hey, now.
So, Ann's, I don't know why, but because this is going back a little bit. She says, John, love it. So, I don't know, maybe she was talking about his phone call. He writes back to her, thank you, love you. Ooh.
Love you.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Love is blossoming.
Fremder, Lady Gaga's hot. I want her poker face. Yes. When I was younger, my father told me if I masturbate too much, I'll go blind. I replied, Dad, I'm over here. You've never heard that?
No.
Romeo agrees. He thinks Julia Louis-Dreyfus is just as good as Lucille Ball. Oh, Fremder. So many immigrants being deported. They're disappearing without trace. Like trace. Like, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. If only sex position could determine the gender, I guess that's the last time I do doggy style. Okay.
All right.
Good morning, fellas, says Carol Miner. Good morning, Carol. Good to see you.
Carol Miner.
Random thought, says Fremder. I wonder how fast a zebra has to run before it looks gray.
Wow.
Another random thought. Who cleans up seeing eye dog shit? See, now there's John. Hi, Miss Carol. Hope all is well. Like, he doesn't have enough women.
I know.
And, she writes back, hanging in, John. Hope you're feeling well. Like, he's such a cock-blocking son of a bitch. Fremder, the guy that invented autocorrect, just passed away. His gravestone said, "May he roast in piss."
Yes, I've heard that one. It's
pretty funny. This he said the other day, which I thought was funny, so I'll repeat it. Trying to be healthy and get back to my original weight, 8 pounds, 12 ounces.
Who wrote that?
Fremder wrote that. Rusiello says, I have one clean shirt left, so I guess I'm okay.
You don't know that one? He has never told you that story, why he says that? One clean shirt left? It's like 1 foot in the grave, one clean shirt left.
She says, love hearing your giggles.
Ooh.
I don't know who she's talking to.
She's talking about John or me or you?
I hope it's us. Friend, it's a long one. Let me read this one first by myself. Okay. The other day I saw a man with a walking stick, and I said, hey, you're blind. He replied, tell me something I don't know. So I said, there's a tree over there.
You know, did I tell you I had bad acne as a kid?
No, you did not tell me that.
No, so one day I fell asleep in the library, and I woke up to some kid reading my face. You're making my face.
All right, I want to get. I need to switch gears and just talk about something serious for a minute.
Oh, serious? Then can we do the diner story, if you don't mind?
Oh yes, thank you. I forgot about that, so that would be great. So, just wanted to send our best wishes to Don Sill. When it's the anniversary of somebody dying, I try not to focus on it, but I'm not very good at it.
I had one yesterday.
Oh, did you?
4 years, my dad.
Wow, that was 4 years yesterday?
Yeah.
That's very weird because today is 4 years since Don's brother passed.
Wow. Yeah, March 25th, 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, today is 4 years since his brother Greg died. And I try to focus on the birthday instead of the anniversary of the death, but I'm not successful. Like today I've been thinking about Greg. One of my closest friends, Brian, died in August of 2023. Chris Thomas's brother. 2014. And his birthday is in April. That's his birthday's coming up. I think it's this. Is it April 2nd? I think it is. So that would be this Monday, Tuesday. So I try to think of him then, but I can't shake it because he was one of my closest friends. So on the day, the anniversary of his passing, I'm funked out. And Greg, Don Sill's brother Greg died suddenly. I mean, he had just turned 48 5 days prior.
Wow.
He was not sick. It was a very sudden thing. In fact, I think it was that morning he had just him and his wife bought an apartment in the city that they were going to use for themselves, but I think they were also going to rent it out.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was that morning they went to closing on it. So he was a solid guy, like he was an athletic guy.
Yeah.
Worked out regularly. He was a very active guy. He was a teacher, a high school teacher, very involved in the school he taught at, very involved in his community, charitable guy. He also, I think he was a wrestling coach as well. But he won all sorts of awards as a teacher because he didn't just go in and do a lesson. Like he was very creative and made it fun for the kids. The kids loved him. In fact, when he died, the school even opened up. I think it was a Thursday or a Friday that he died, if I remember right. And the school opened up that weekend and brought counselors in just so the students can come in and grieve and learn how to grieve properly. That's how much this guy was, loved. I mean, plenty of times you hear about teachers dying, and they don't open up the school with counselors that weekend.
No, it's the beloved teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, he made a difference. And great guy, beautiful wife, 3 beautiful daughters. One was in college at the time, and the other 2 were still, middle school, high school, whatever it was.
Wow.
And they just.
It's horrible.
They were one of those couples where they just seemed to, they always seemed happy. You never got the feeling like this was let's look happy for social media. They just seemed to be, they were together since they were in high school. They just seemed to have, everything just seemed to be right.
They had it all together.
Yeah. And you would, that's what you strive to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was just sudden out of nowhere. I never had the balls to ask Don, but I know Don watches some of the show sometimes. So Don, if and forgive me if I'm wrong about this, but I believe if I'm not mistaken, I do believe his last words were to one of the paramedics when they called an ambulance. I'm pretty sure I heard that his last words were, "Please tell my family I love them." So yeah, it's a sad day for Don and Don's family, and like I've said a million times on here, Don and my wife are cousins. That's how I met Don. So the whole family I'm sure is feeling it today. So just wanted to wish Don all the best today. I'm sure it's not easy for him.
No.
It was weird because, the same year that happens is the same year Don turns 50. So, we had a great party for him, but, he felt it, and Don, too, great family guy. Don has 18 children. He has 5.
Right.
But
I know. I say that about my son. He's got 3, but it's more like 13.
I can't handle 2. How somebody can handle 5? He had 2 by the time he was 20 or 21.
Wow.
And again, credit to him for getting through that. And they're great kids. All of them are great kids. I would not have been able to handle that at 19. He had his first daughter at 19.
No.
He's held it together, and Don. I credit to Don's father because both Don and Greg, great guys. Don having a kid at 19, another one. His first 2 kids are only 10 months apart, so Irish twins, right?
Wow!
But he made it work, and he
at
survived.
21 years old, he had 2 little babies.
Right.
Him and his wife.
Yeah, not his wife anymore, but.
But I
that's fine. But they got through it. And they're great. All 5 of his kids are great kids. But yeah, and again, I credit his dad because to have kids that young, and then by his own admission, he didn't really have much going on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have kids that young, you kind of got to push all your dreams aside and just start making a living.
Mm-hmm.
Don was, he worked, a few different jobs. The longest job that I'm aware of that he had was he worked at Southside Hospital. He was like I think he was just a custodian, which nothing against custodians, but I don't think anybody grows up thinking they want to be a custodian.
No.
So I'm not trying to.
Now it's a really good job, especially if you get into a school or something. Yeah.
But Don, like myself, I didn't dream of becoming a phone guy. I had, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to draw. Don, had, he loved comedy. He loves acting. Like I'm sure he had other aspirations, but once you have kids, but he made it work. And then, a good 10 years of that, and then he gets offered to do like in-house graphics at whatever the arena that the Carolina Hurricanes play in, which he had no experience whatsoever. It was just, he had a connection.
Yeah.
And the connection said to him, I'll teach you, you'll get hooked up. And now Don is, he's worked Super Bowls. He's worked with presidents. He is a professional editor. He does a lot of side work, editing films, and now the guy is thriving. His kids are thriving. Again, they're all great kids, and Greg too. Greg, his brother, just like I said, teacher, great wife, great kids, and just made it all work. And both of them big family men, and it was such a shock. I'll never forget it. I was sitting home. Well, when I was living with Sally, just sitting at home. And Zach texted me. And Don was actually on his way down to the Carolinas to visit. 2 out of his 5 kids were living down there at the time. Now I think he has 3 or 4 living down there. But at the time, I think it was only 2. He was actually on his way down there to visit. Gets the call. Starts driving back, the poor bastard. And, I think it was like midnight or some shit. I called him up because I knew he was driving back, so I just called him up and we spoke on the phone while he was driving back. It's just, and I'm sure, you're probably too, right? Yesterday, you probably thinking about it all day is my guess, right?
Just like I'm sure, Don, not a day goes by I don't think about my dad, but
Sure.
it's more heavy on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it's wild, and we don't have to make it a long story, even though I make my stories long. There's always before someone passes, you usually have that moment with them, and I was fortunate enough that I had the moment with my dad. Like Greg said, please tell my family I love them. I remember another guy, saying, tell my wife I love her, and then he passed out and died. This
Oh.
is a guy I used to work with years ago. But the day before my father died, you know, I was with him for like 3 or 4 days straight. I would sleep in my car in the parking lot. I wouldn't go home because I knew it was.
You knew it was coming.
It was coming. So the day before, I'm sitting next to his bed. I'm by myself, and I'm holding his hand, and I have my phone with Pavarotti, you know, classical music playing next on his pillow next to his bed softly, and I just wanted to say I wasn't speaking. You know, because they always say you should talk to them; they could hear you. So I just said, you know, Pop, I just want you to know it's okay. I'll see you again. I love you so much. And you know, he was sleeping for days.
Yeah.
Just in the bed, and he just at that moment, as I said that, he squeezed my head gently. He opened his eyes, looked right at me, and he mouthed the words, "I love you too."
Oh my good! And then when did he? How long?
The next day.
Holy!
But I had
crap.
that moment, and I'll never forget it. So that moment was on my mind yesterday.
Yeah.
That I guess I was really fortunate to have that 3-second little conversation. I said, "I love you, Pop. You have no idea." And he looked at me dead in the eyes. "I love you too." And he closed his eyes and went back to sleep.
What's your brother's name?
Eddie.
He didn't say it wasn't. I love you, Eddie.
If he
leave it to me to ruin the moment.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you ruined the moment. Oh,
I've been. Today's Wednesday. I talked about it yesterday. I talked about it Monday. We had a show here.
That would have been fucking funny if he did.
Can you imagine?
I love you, Eddie. You're such a good son. I'd be like, I'm gonna go now.
Unlike that brother of yours. Can you imagine? You know I'm messing with you.
Oh, I know.
But we there was a show in the club this past Sunday afternoon. There's this comedian. Her name is Palma. And
Palma?
Yeah, Palma. Palma. She's dying. She's dying of cancer.
Oh.
And so it was a fundraiser for her.
Yes, I was told.
Yeah, I've been promoting it.
Yes.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, leading up to the show, she had gotten so bad that people were starting to wonder if she was even going to be alive by the time we had the fundraiser here.
Wow.
So, forgive me if you guys have been watching all week, but I'm just telling Mike. So not only did she make it to the fundraiser the other day, but she actually got up on stage and did a set.
She did.
Yeah, and it was one of the heaviest things I've ever seen, and she killed it. She was great. And then after she was done, she started thanking everybody for coming, and she started crying, and the place was mobbed, and every single there wasn't a single person here just showing up to see a show. They were all here for her. So you hear like tons of people are sobbing and crying, and she's thanking everybody. And she used the term, it's so nice to be here and have a living wake. And I had never heard that term before.
I have many times, yes.
But so it hit me immediately. I'm like, wow, what a great term. And that's exactly what this is.
We need to celebrate each other while we're alive, not when we're dead.
Right.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So I was telling this to Diane yesterday, and she said the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to propose it to you. I proposed it to Diane yesterday. I said, so every week from now on, and I told Diane, pick anybody you want and sit here and say something about them. So I'll propose that to you, too. You want to come in every week, pick anybody you want. Your next-door neighbor, an ex-wife, your kid, anybody.
I have one already, which I'll save for next week. But so today was my father.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
who really, like you said, is a dick that you are. He was really saying, "I love you, Eddie." Uh-huh. What's funny, and I actually thought it was funny, because the next day my brother got here.
Yeah, he's in California, right?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. He might be in New York today. I don't know. He might be in the hallway for all we fucking know.
Hi, Eddie.
So when he got there, my father died within just a couple of hours.
So he made it in time. Eddie made it in time.
He made it in time, which I kind of got mad at my brother, because I saw my father take his last breath. And, they always tell you, even the funeral directors, spend time with them. Don't rush to call us. Don't spend time. And after like 5 minutes, my brother's like, "All right, you want to go?" I'm like,
"No."
What?
Go ahead.
I said, go ahead. I said,
Wow.
I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When my friend Brian died, and I've told this story before, Chris Thomas, who is a regular part of the show, she watches all the time, and she's been in here so many times. So Brian was one of my closest friends, known him since junior high school. I think it was the second day of the wake. Or was it the day of the funeral? It might have been the day of the funeral. I got there early. In no particular reason. The funeral was Maloney Funeral Home, right off 347, I think, or 454.
There's so many. There's like 3 or 4 of them now.
So for me, and I think it was like 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock it was going to start. And Brian was, talk about a great guy. He was just involved in everything. Such a charitable guy. And he was also a cop. He was with the sheriff's department. He was a guard at the Nassau County Jail.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew there was going to be a ton of cops. So I just knew it was going to be a mob scene. And Brian knew everybody. And again, he was involved in so many different things. And it's just one of the greatest people I've ever known. So I got there early, and I
He
got
was
there.
your age?
Brian and I were the same. Well, we were in the same grade, but he was a year ahead of me, and I don't think he was left back. I think he might have been held back. I'm not sure what the story. He was already, when I met him, he was already in my grade.
But he was young when he.
When he died, he was 45.
Wow.
Same thing, very sudden. He was home and he just dropped.
Yeah.
That's that simple. So I got there. It was at least an hour early. Might have even been more. And the parking lot was empty. There was maybe 2 other cars. So I'm just sitting there. I turn the music on. I'm just going to hang. I'm sitting there for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and Chris Thomas comes out of the funeral home, and she's walking towards my car. And my first thought was, I didn't even know Chris was here. My second thought was, why is she walking towards me?
Yeah.
I turned the music down. She was listening. She goes, I forget where she had to go. She had to go somewhere before the funeral. She goes, I have to run to wherever. She goes, there's nobody here. She goes, go inside and keep him company.
Wow.
Mike, this might be the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me. I went in there and I had 45 minutes with just me and one of my closest friends. Not a single person in sight. I didn't even see anybody. I didn't hear anybody. Like even the staff, and nothing. It was just me and him. And I don't know if it was because he died so young or what, but you know when you go to these wakes and they don't really look like themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Brian not only looked completely like himself, but he had a smile on his face. So you almost expected him to gotcha.
Yeah.
And if Brian could pull that off, he would. He was that type of a jokester.
Oh, he was.
My favorite story, one time he called me up. I was driving. I had a murder mystery, and I'm driving east on the LIE, and I can tell from his, from his voice, I could tell he was in his car. So I go, where are you? He goes, I'm on the LIE. He goes, I'm going home from work. I go, where are you? Whatever exit. He was like, let's say exit 53. I was exit 51. He
They're
goes,
not too far apart.
Right. So he goes, and he was right off exit 58. I think it is. He's literally like a half mile north of the LIE. So he goes, all right, I'm going to pull over by my exit. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in a few minutes. And I had Sal with me. Sal, I think, had met Brian once, but they didn't know each other. We're getting closer and closer. I'm hearing cars honking. I'm seeing brake lights. I'm like, and I just knew he's doing something.
Yeah.
He had a big Bronco. It's on the side of the road. He's laying on the hood, and he's got his pants up like he's showing off his legs. Cars are honking. People are slowing down to look at him.
Funny.
Oh my God, did I laugh? Holy crap, did I laugh? But that's just the kind of guy he was. So yeah, so if he could pull off, like all of a sudden coming out of a casket. If somebody said to me, everybody who would do that? Brian would be my first choice. So to have 45 minutes with him where he looks like himself and he's smiling, and it was just, like I said, one of the greatest things anybody's ever done for me. And I bring it up to Chris Thomas all the time when I see her. Almost every time I see her, I bring it up somehow.
Yeah.
It was just one of my favorite moments that I was able to have that.
Unbelievable.
And then, her here too, for Palma to have that. It was such a sad time, and the comedians were having a hard time because they were all the comedians were close friends of hers. There were a lot of tears flowing and stuff, but as sad as and as heavy as it was, but it was also kind of beautiful because you had the opportunity
beautiful.
to say those things and
Yes.
say things that that you normally don't say until they're laying in a casket. So yeah, it was nice. It's really nice, and then to have that moment, even though Brian was already gone, but like you said, you don't want to leave. You like to think that they can still hear you. So so that's.
Can we end that on a joke?
Sure.
So the other day, a guy was trying to sell me a casket. And I told him, a coffin is the last thing I need right now.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
No.
It's the last thing you're ever going to need.
Oh, my goodness. Let's see.
Not so good, huh?
No. See, and some of the ones I have up here are so bad that I'm not even reading them. All right, let's see. I don't get this one either. I got an A on my original. Oh, never mind. I thought it said original. It's origami. I got an A on my origami assignment.
But.
Oh, this is so stupid. For you Star Wars fans out there, how many stormtroopers does it take to change a light bulb? None, because they're all on the dark side. Oh, my goodness. If your house is cold, just stand in the corner. It's always 90 degrees there.
Oh, I know. That's an old one.
Is it? I've never heard that.
Oh, yeah, that's an old one. I think I might have a good one for you.
What did the dad say when he put his car in reverse? This takes me back.
I like that one. How about this one?
What do you call a cheap circumcision? A ripoff.
Speaking of playing... Jeez, I hate when I get stuck. Okay. Speaking of playing voice messages like that, I have one. Or don't I? Did I get rid of it by accident? Oh, no, here it is. And Chris Thomas comes out of the sorry. All right, here. Oh, son of a bitch. I thought I had it on speaker. What happened to the speaker?
What happened?
You fucking pick up your phone. I want to break your balls. Come on.
Hey, you fuck. I just felt like playing that.
That's
all right,
it.
you have an embassy diner story.
What'd you say? NBC?
Embassy diner. Oh, was I supposed to give it away? Sorry.
No.
Oh, it's okay. So,
what was that?
Oh, I was just lowering my volume.
Oh. So I think it's a beloved diner. I've been friends with my friend John 20 years, worked with him. So we get together every once in a while. We have dinner, and I brought him to Okanee Diner in Islip, which is, I don't know if you've ever been there. They're very over the top with decorations and all that stuff.
I proposed to Lisa in the parking lot of the Okanee Diner.
You did?
Yes. The romantic I am.
Wow, that's really romantic with cars whizzing by on Main Street.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it was such a... Why did I do that?
Yeah, why did you do that? Well, obviously you're a spontaneous fella.
I had the ring.
You didn't want to lose the ring?
Probably. I don't. There was a reason. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, that's where I proposed in the parking lot of Okanee Diner.
I don't even know if I can continue my story after that.
Sorry. So, all right. So you're with your friend John, and you're talking, but you didn't go to the Okanee.
No, we went to Okanee several months ago because I told him I've been going there since I'm a kid. So we went there, and then a couple of months go by. He goes, "I got to bring you to this Embassy Diner." I'm like, "Okay." And so we go last night, and if anybody's been there, it's a really cool place. The decorations and Home of the Brave, and
very patriotic,
extremely patriotic. Great place.
Yeah,
and
good food. Yeah,
great food. So the owner is a big Greek fella, and his sleeves are always rolled up,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But he owned, so he's walking down the aisle, I'm sitting there, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, I forgot your name, but I've been seeing you at the Okanee Diner for how many years?" And he said 2001 he bought it with his son. They recently sold it to their family members, something or else. So I said, "You know why you're famous?" I said, "People go to the Okanee when you were there because," and I don't know if this ever happened to you. If you were sitting if you were sitting here at the table, and if he was in the back of you, his claim to fame was, the big cookies?
Yes.
He would throw them like Frisbees.
I have seen him do that. I have.
And it's hilarious. And he told me it was just part of his thing because they were so busy. He goes, but it did become funny.
Yeah.
You'd be sitting there and a cookie would be flying past your head.
Yep.
So I guess he was just so happy that I remembered him for all these years. So not even 5 minutes later, he comes by, he's whizzing by us, and he drops a bag in front of me, a paper bag, brown paper bag, in front of me and in front of my friend John.
Full of cookies?
Full of cookies. Oh. There was like 7 of them with like 10 lollipops. He goes, "Here you go."
Lollipops?
And leaves.
Wow.
And splits. Not like here, because that's what kind of guy, he's just on the move all the time.
Yes.
So I would say anybody that goes there, look for this guy. He's a big guy.
And tell him you saw him throwing cookies, and then maybe you'll get a bag too.
Yeah, you got to say, "I've been to Okanee, and your claim to fame is because he throws cookies like this at you.
Yes.
Like Frisbees.
I'm pretty sure I was the recipient of one once. Pretty sure.
And he's so good at it. It'll land right in front of you.
Yeah.
And you see people's faces when it goes over their shoulder. They're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
I think I was at the counter paying a bill, and he was a few feet back, and he threw it to me, and I caught it, if I remember right.
That's
but
fun.
yeah, the Okanee Diner, OCA.
No, OCO. OCONNEE. That's the one in Islip.
Yeah, that's the only one.
He doesn't work there anymore.
Right, no, I get that, but I'm saying if you go there and tell him the story, you want to get the name of the diner right. So I used to
Okanee.
see you at the Okanee Diner.
Yes, if you see
Right.
him at the Embassy Diner.
Right.
Yes.
So go to Embassy, tell him you saw him at the Okanee.
Yes.
When you're at the Embassy.
At the
tell
Embassy.
Tell him about the Okanee.
Okanee.
Okanee, when you're at the Embassy.
In Islip.
Right.
Yes.
And then he'll give you cookies. He's one of the sponsors for Peter Schwartz's Sports Bash.
Wow. He's a great guy.
Not only is he the sponsor, but I think twice so far, he has sent food over during the show.
Wow.
And some guy comes in here and gives us like 6 or 7, to go platters of meals. So we're talking 6 or 7 meals.
Wow.
And then Peter, he's nice enough to split it with me, so we go home with some meals.
Nice.
Yeah, the Embassy Diner is great.
It's a great place.
Now I've been going there since I was a kid. Embassy,
and it's always been Embassy.
As long as since. So I started dating my first wife when I was 19. She was from that area where the Embassy is. And
yeah.
It was so. At least since 1989, it's been the Embassy Diner.
Yeah.
As long as I've been an adult, and,
right?
In this area, it was always been the.
Now
Embassy
let me
Diner.
ask you a question. I grew up in diners. My mother never cooked. My father rarely cooked, so we went to diners a lot.
Okay.
And it always seemed to me you would have the best conversations in just a Long Island diner. So I always made this joke that they must pump like laughing gas in there, or some sort of, I don't know, some sort of medication that just elevates your mood, right? Because, listen, I haven't been all around the world, but I've been around. I've yet to see anywhere else in this world anything like a good Long Island diner.
That I will agree with. The part about. About the laughing gas.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that. I've definitely had more good times in diners than bad.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with here on Long Island, people are usually going to a diner after they went somewhere, like to a concert, to a movie,
drinking
to a party.
all night.
Right, and then you go to the diner.
And then you go to the diner.
So you're already in good spirits.
So you're in a good mood. Yeah, okay. All right,
but
killing my vibe. But
no,
okay.
no, I'm not killing your vibe.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's true. That has something to do with it.
And the fact that you're eating out, because in your case, you and your brother, your mom and dad, like, You might just be happy to be eating out, maybe. Well, maybe not with them.
yeah.
But but yeah, I definitely have had more good times in diners, and I do love diners.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. Like, I think, my 20s. Probably till my early 40s. I mean, I pretty much every time I went out was topped off with a diner.
Yeah.
We did that for years with the Murder Mysteries.
I remember.
We would go to a diner after the
first Murder Mystery Company every single time.
Right, and then with the one we started, and then I continued. I mean, I continued that tradition for a long time.
Yeah.
Didn't matter where the show was. We were hitting a diner on the way home. We wouldn't. I think the earliest I would get home from a Murder Mystery was 2 a.m. because we were hitting a diner after.
Right, exactly.
And it wasn't like, holy shit, it's 2 a.m. I gotta we were happy to be there. We had a great show, so now we're having a good time at the diner. Had some good food. I can't tell you how many times I think everything in my 20s when I was going out to bars with my friends and Joe Murphy's drinking away and he needs food and coffee. We were going to diners.
Yeah,
and there's less and less of them now, which is sad to me.
It is. I've noticed a lot of them have closed. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is why the embassy is like the embassy between the patriotic decorations and I think because diners are dwindling, I do think that's why it's kind of gained some popularity again.
And Okanee is very similar to Embassy.
Yes.
With the patriotism and
yes,
the support of the first responders and the service members,
yes,
all
absolutely.
that stuff. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go back a little bit. John has bad phone reception. Sounds like Transformers fucking. What? Oh, how did we get back to that? What happened here? We're down to 2 viewers? What happened? Where'd he go?
I don't know. I thought it would be pretty funny.
Now it just doubled. Okay. Wow. I guess they didn't like all the talk about death. Brucello says, this is an uplifting show. Ann says, prayers to Don. John says, may he rest peacefully. Job well done, Don Sill. You have a lot to be proud of. Mickey's watching. Ann says, Palma is beautiful. I love that. You rock, Palma. Prayers. Oh, there it is. This is a very uplifting show today. All right.
Who wrote that one?
Yeah, Romeo wrote that.
Oh.
Carol says, Tony, do you know the story of Brian and Billy and the septic tank? Oh, yes, I do.
Brian and Billy in the septic tank?
Brian Thomas, who I was talking about before, and a friend of ours named Billy Ryder. Oh, jeez. I do know something with the septic tank. It had something to do with the 4th, or it was around the 4th of July. Oh, Carol, it's bugging me. I can't recall it right now.
Did they fall in the septic tank?
No, they didn't fall in. Brian started helping the workers or something that were putting it in or something. I think there was something weird. I can't, off the top of my head, it's not coming to me, but I definitely have heard it before, Carol. My apologies. Fremder, back when I was younger, my balls were always freezing because I lived on a cul-de-sac. Romeo says, you saved my message. I'm touched. Fremder, isn't that odd? I just found out my proctologist was a photographer.
Oh, that's a Rodney joke.
Oh, is it?
He told me to bend over and say cheese.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Is the diner owner's name Gus? I think it is, right?
That's his name. His name is Gus.
Yep.
Yes.
That's from Romeo. He guessed it. Fremder, propose at a diner. I know he's going to regret saying this.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you would do something like that, sitting in a cloud of your own burger farts.
Oh, God.
He's pretty much right. Hot roast beef with gravy, fries to die for. Scott has joined us. Hello, Scott. Special guest appearance next week, the Grim Reaper. Fremder, laughing gas. You mean the sound my asshole makes after I eat too much at a diner. Scott says, even the food places you guys eat have the word die in it. Scott, we already have Fremder. And I love an old diner. That's all we have in my town. Very nice. There's old money and won't let the chain food joints in here, which is fine with me. I will take a diner over a fast fix anyway. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ava's watching. What is a cheap circumcision? A ripoff.
I beat you to it.
Yep, Mike actually played that joke.
Played it.
Who was that telling it when you played
My
that?
boyfriend.
Oh, that was her boyfriend.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Cole.
Cole and Ava.
Cole. The name. He's a man, not the store.
Funny you should say that.
Really?
Right there. Kohl's is cutting 10% of its corporate workforce and ending the Amazon returns in some of their stores.
Those bastards.
The retailer's sales declined 9.4% in the fourth quarter of 2024, 7.2% for the whole year. Kohl's also said that it expects 2% net decrease in sales for 2025.
Wow.
They are closing some stores, none here in New York.
Oh, none here in New York.
Thankfully, and we'll get to more of that in a minute. First, we're going to talk to Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi. How are you guys?
Oh, you hear
Wow,
that?
she sounds lovely.
Hi.
Oh, God. I'm never calling again.
What was that?
She said she's never calling. Are you all right? Hang on, Carol. Don't tell the story yet. They're headphones. Have you never put on
I
headphones?
thought they were
before?
called cans.
Some people call them cans.
Well, you call them cans.
I don't.
I'm sorry, Carol. We could have this argument later.
Okay. All right.
Carol's much more important.
Without
No,
a doubt.
that's okay. I love it because I feel like I'm watching the Muppet Show.
Like
It's
the
time
two old
to
guys
light
in the
the
balcony.
lights. It's time to get things started
Started on the Muppet Show tonight.
Okay, Carol, tell us the sewer story.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say it's really nice to see Michael and having a smile on his face and being in such a good mood. I really like it.
It is about time.
Thank you, Carol. Yes. I was
So,
in a dark
whatever
place for a
you're
while.
doing, keep at it. So.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the story is Brian used to live kind of across the street from Billy Ryder.
Right.
And Billy's septic tank, it was overflowing, having problems, and it was like 4th of July weekend. And the guys that were there to fix it, it was taking them forever. And they were just standing around. So Billy was at work, and he couldn't watch, and Lucia was at work, and no one was home. So they're taking advantage of no one being around. Well, Brian's home, and he's watching this. The guys are just standing around, just not really doing their job. So Brian walks over and goes, "Hey, guys, I'm going to make it a little easier for you." Pulls down his pants and proceeds to take a dump right in the hole that they have made.
That's a true story. Yes.
Are you kidding?
That is a true story. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know. Wow. I wish
Yeah.
I had that kind of guts.
Yeah. Oh, Brian had those guts.
Brian was fearless.
Right in front
He
of,
didn't care.
Right in front of the workers that were
Yes.
doing the job.
That
Yeah,
is a
because they
true
weren't
story.
doing anything. They were just sitting there with their thumbs ass, and
Yep.
it's one of his best friends, and they're there to do a job and taking advantage that no one's home and just, wasting time. Well, he decided, I'm going to make the job easy for you. Stripped down his pants and squatted over it and proceeded to
So he
do a
was
number
right
two
near
right
the
in front of him.
hole.
Yes.
That
Yep,
they were
right in the
digging.
hole.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a true story. and if I'm not mistaken, it worked. Like these guys kind of like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure did.
This
so,
is your friend.
Well, yeah, he was Brian Thomas. Yeah,
Brian
Chris
Thomas.
who's a part of the show. Yeah, it's her one of her brothers. Like Carol said, he was just a fearless man.
Wow.
There are endless stories about this guy and things that he.
I mean, that's
did.
That's a legendary thing to
And
do.
and that's just one.
Yeah,
he
there's-
definitely. If you knew Brian, everybody had a story, and he was one of the gentlest giants.
Right.
But if he didn't like you were in trouble.
That's the thing. I mean, the stories are legendary. It's not like there's very few normal stories. There's so many legendary stories.
Yeah.
And like Carol said, if he didn't like you, you knew it. And then like she also said, a gentle giant. Like I remember down in Wanto, where I raised my kids, there was a 4th of July parade, and I'm watching the parade. And Safe Haven, the ones that find homes for babies. If of
course,
yeah.
I'm going like this.
Yeah.
There's a like towards the end of parades, they'll have a truck with a trailer like with advertisements. So sure enough,
Yeah.
here comes a truck pulling a trailer for a Safe Haven, and I'm just standing with my kids, and my mother was there, and we're watching the parade, and all of a sudden, as this trailer gets closer, it's Brian.
Walking or in the truck?
He's driving the truck, pulling this Safe Haven trailer. So so we make eye contact. I go, "What are you doing?" And he just looks at me. Matter of fact, goes, "I'm driving the truck for Safe Haven." I said, "I know that." He sees my mother. He has not seen my. So this was, I think, early 2000s. He had not seen my mother since we were in high school. He puts the truck in park, holds up the parade, gets out to come over and give her a hug and talk to her.
Oh, my God.
And I'm telling you, he stood there for about 5 minutes talking to my mother. The parade is waiting. He held up the parade, and then he gets back in the truck and just keeps going. I mean, it's endless stories like that. Carol, did you hear the story I told before about the expressway?
Yeah, I've heard that story.
I think that's my favorite. Actually,
that's a good one.
That's my favorite.
He was famous for showing his legs and taking his pants off and things like. There's a lot of pictures, and memories of Brian thinking he had the sexiest legs ever, and he would always show them off. But what people don't really people who maybe knew him later in life, he was a great actor.
Yes.
He was great at playing a part and just being in the role. I mean, he was just so goofy. But when it came to certain things, he really gave it his all, and he was just, if he loved you, I'm little. I'm 5'1", so he would always come up to me and rest his arm on my head because he was so much taller than me. Until the point, and I got so angry at him one time. I was like, "I'm not a fucking resting post. Get the hell off of me!" And he looked at me and he's like, "I have just pissed off the bear." And he was so scared of me the rest of the night. And I was like, he was like, "Carol's really mad at me. Carol's really mad." I'm like, "I'm not mad at you. It's just stop treating me like this, And so every time we'd be around together, he's like, "No one rests their arm on top of Carol. I will punch you first. Come at me first." And it was, he was just an unbelievable guy. And that's the sad thing when you lose somebody that has so much, in your heart that makes you smile. And I think people forget, you have to remember the good stuff in order to keep their memory alive. Talking about them is what keeps their memory going.
Right. Well, and to bring this full circle, Mike and I were playing voice messages before. Well, talking about living wakes and phone messages, Brian, anytime he called me and leave a message, it would end with, "I love you," I've saved one or two of them.
You have,
and sometimes I do play it just because it's nice to hear that voice again. But
it's funny.
It's nice.
The text messages between my father's nurse that was taking care of him the last 3 or 4 days of his life, I still have the text messages on my phone.
Yep, and I hope you have it backed up somehow. God forbid you lose the phone.
I don't know. Yeah.
Get on it. Yeah. Get on it.
Yeah. This way you can have them forever.
Absolutely. All right, Carol, we got to get out of here. I have to split. But thanks. Thanks for sharing the story. I did forget. Carol, I did forget what the story was. So thank you for that.
Story.
You're very welcome. You guys have a great rest of your day. Okay.
You too, baby.
Great
thank you.
Your voice, Carol.
All right.
And good to see you smile, Michael.
Thank you, Carol.
All right.
See you, Carol. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, yeah, we have to hightail it out of here. I have an appointment for my prosthetist, and it's going to take me almost a half hour to get there. I have to be there at 1. What?
You have to go to Delaware?
Delaware, yes, Delaware.
Virginia's for lovers.
Quickly, before I get to the announcements, I was going to make a joke about retirement, but it didn't work. I think that one's pretty good. I've never heard that one. Is that an old joke, too?
I've heard it.
I've never heard it.
I think it's hysterical.
All right, it's time for us to get out of here. Let's see. Brian was my type of guy. May he rest in peace. I wish I could have met him, says John. Yeah, John, you would have loved him, especially since, you guys are all cops and stuff. Yeah, he was great. Speaking of...
he was a cop?
He was...
he was corrections.
Yeah, he was a guard in the Nassau County Jail. And even sometimes he would call me from work and he would put some random prisoner on the phone.
Oh, my God.
It was so funny. It was amazing the stuff he did. It was great. Okay. Time for us to get out of here. Today is Wednesday. We got a special edition of Sports Bash with Peter Schwartz today at 4. It's either 4 or maybe in between 4:30, but you'll get the notifications and I'll post it and share it and all that stuff. So somewhere around 4 o'clock today, Sports Bash with Peter Schwartz, and then we got Circling the Drain tonight at 7. Tomorrow morning at 9, Coffee with the Talk. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., me and Frank will be here with Toby Tobias, local musician. And I think that's it for Thursday. Oh, well, Sports Bash again, back at its regular time tomorrow at 1 p.m. All right, that's that. And, of course, so keep it locked here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows here. I don't know what he's doing. And, of course, don't forget the club itself. Some of the names you'll see on a governor's stage this weekend: Des Bishop, Vanessa Marcel, and Rena Sofer from General Hospital.
Oh.
Lil Mo Mozzarella. I know everybody does that when they hear those names.
Yeah.
Beautiful women. Lil Mo Mozzarella, Richie Byrne. That's tomorrow night. Richie Byrne, Chuck Fox, Mike Keegan, Tyler Noble. That's in the Giggle Room tomorrow night. John Ziegler this weekend. Joe Curry, James Grimm, our pal James Grimm on Friday. Damian Lemon, Peter Antonio. Go to govs.com, make some reservations, check out their full schedule. Knockem Dead Comedy, KnockemDeadComedy.com, don't forget. Check out our schedule, what we got going on, as well as information on how you can hire us for your event. Our next public show is April 26th in Freehold, New Jersey, where you can see both of us. That guy, and this guy, and a lot of guys. Go to KnockemDeadComedy.com. That is it. We are out of here. Thank you, pal. As always, another fun one. And, I have to go to Progressive. I'll throw a little plug in there for them. Progressive O&P. Anybody loses a limb out there, that's the place to go, just so you know. All right, we're out. Everybody have a great day. See you later.